Yo,
What's up, folks?
Monday morning, late morning, midday. Danny Boy, Bill Corpus Crispy with you, always with you. We appreciate you, love you, and thank you for joining us.
Yes, welcome to, what is it, 503?
504.
504.
That's
Thank
that that
you
that's based on my count. But yeah.
of the Sports Insanity Podcast on the Sports Insanity Network.
Sponsors
And
always, but Dugout Millwood.
by Doug out of Millwood. Thank you, Doug out of Millwood. So, yeah, we got a good show for you today, don't we, Reggie boy?
Yep. We'll have the mock draft, the late rounds. Billy Boy, um, due to the fact that the Giants made an absolute fleece of a trade with the Cincinnati Bengals, sending Dexter Lawrence to get the 10th pick of the draft, Billy Boy has decided, even though I don't think it's necessary, but this is how he wants to do it, and I'm going to give him the floor to do it. He's going to make some changes to
Well,
his
no.
1 to 16.
Well, mainly just, I'm gonna say this. I'm just gonna make two quick things that I've been thinking. One that's not regarding the trade. I did not have Jeremiah Love going early. I think he might at this point. I think he might because he is the most sought after running back. But running backs are tricky. Look what happened with Saquon.
But Saquon was great.
Yeah,
Saquon's a
but
Super
he
Bowl
kept getting
winning.
injured. So
Yeah, but he's a look. He's an MVP caliber quarterback. He's won the Super Bowl. He was the reason why the Eagles were that much better 2 years ago. Like, no, like it's worth it. It didn't work out for y'all. You didn't have the right coaches. You didn't have the right front office. So, look, that's more of a shame on the Giants than it is on Saquon. So, taking a gamble at a running back early is never always a bad thing. It's not recommended if you're like not so much of a big time superstar back, but Jeremiah Love is that dude. So
yeah,
it's
so I think
okay.
he's gonna go early.
Yeah.
And Francis McGoa, he'll probably go somewhere in the mid picks. Um, anyway. But now here's the one that I really wanted to touch on because it does affect a later pick I had. And that pick was I had with the new pick with the Cincinnati Bengals take it now trading for Dexter Lawrence and the Giants get the number 10 pick. I actually now think if the Giants are gonna get Caleb Downs if he's still on the board at number 10. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up, Reg, is because I had Caleb Downs going later before this trade. So that's why I wanted to bring this up now, because I had Caleb Downs going later in the round. But now that the Giants have that number 10 pick, I now the Giants have that number 10 pick, I think they can I think they'll probably get Caleb Downs.
And it's always a big time possibility that that could happen. Um,
Or if there's a chance that David Bailey is still on the board,
yeah.
that maybe they'll get him. So I just wanted to say these are not like official changes, but these are things that I can see happening. I think Caleb Down, if the Giants take Sonny Styles at number 5, I think they're going to get Caleb Downs at number 10.
Yeah.
And
Um,
and now I'm hearing that this might not be over yet. I'm hearing they may trade Thibodeau.
would you be okay with that?
I don't know. Like I saw one report saying that they would trade to the Ravens for the number 14 pick. I don't see Baltimore giving that up.
Can you imagine? No. That it- um Giants the latest report is that the Giants are unlikely to trade Cable.
Yeah, there was talk this weekend that that might happen. Like, dude, if they racked up 3 first-round picks, bro.
No, I mean, then here's what's gonna happen. Um, the NFL is gonna have to investigate some of these teams' brains for, for trading with the Giants. No, the latest report um is that I know that again, Bill is not wrong. There were actual rumblings about a possibility of Kayvon being traded, but uh, the reports are unlikely, and that's according to the likes of Ian Rappaport of the NFL media. So just throwing that out there, not to get ahead of ourselves here. By the way, I don't think the Ravens would be that stupid and trade their draft pick. Like, you know, they have to address things too. So, um,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
But with that said, just a quick thought on the trade. Like I said, fleece job by the Giants. You get rid of
Awesome.
you get rid of the cancer in Dexter Lawrence, and look, he's a great player, but you can tell this had the writings of a soured relationship, something that just wasn't going to work. And the Giants did the right thing by getting rid of his ass. And in return, they get a top 10 draft pick. I mean, tremendous job. And I don't want to hear any bullshit about how this was Joe Shane. Fuck out of here. Excuse my language. This is John Harbaugh making the move. Can we stop with the crap about Joe Shane? What a great movie made. No, no, no. Harbaugh initiated this move. Can we acknowledge that, please? Enough of this Joe
Yes.
Shane
Let
nonsense.
us acknowledge it, shall we?
John Harbaugh is the true person in charge of
No, I
this
agree.
Giants team,
And
this Giants
also
front
that
office and
the
coaching.
lady, the chick who's the director of player management and whatever it is, we got to give a tip of the hat to her too. She's her with Harbaugh. I think they're going to work well together.
Yeah, well, it's really going
You
to be
know what?
Harbaugh, but sure,
Make her the GM. Make her the GM.
we'll give if you want to give her credit, Bill, you can go right ahead. I'm sticking with the fact that this is Harbaugh and Harbaugh only making this move. I don't
Nah,
want to
because
hear any more bullshit.
and this is what John Mara need. And if this is a Harbaugh only move, John Mara has to know. Okay, Joe, you fucking stay quiet
Yeah.
and you let John run the show.
Exactly. And that's how it should be. Because at the end of the day, Joe Shane has not done a great job.
He hasn't.
I know he's hit on some draft picks, but
He hit
you
on
know,
Jackson Dart last year, which I'll give him credit.
and very happy with that. But
Make me
no,
so.
this is the Harbaugh show now, and it's time to acknowledge that, and we're ready to go, baby. So Dexter Lawrence is gone. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody wanted you anyway. And you're great. You'll be great in Cincinnati. You'll get that big fat deal that you always wanted. And the Giants can pick up either nice defensive player. Don't count out offense too. The Giants can always use another wide receiver, especially if that Malik Neighbors is going to be out for a little bit. But yeah, so anyway, mock draft time.
Okay, it is time for the mock draft. You ready, bro?
Let's go. 17 to 32.
Let's do it, broski. Let us do it. Okay. My number 17 pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Jake Slaughter, offensive line from the University of Florida.
Okay.
I think I think he would be I think he would be a good one to protect Jared Goff. And I think he would just be hold on, I'm just getting some stuff up here. I think I think he would just be a good addition to the O line, and Mel Kiper has him on his 15 ballers, but I do kind of have a hard time trusting what Mel Kiper says. Remember, he was
uh,
hard on you, but He finished the last season as Florida's top run blocker and pass protector among linemen, at least 70 that watched at least 75 offensive snaps. So I think Slaughter is going to be a great beef up to this Detroit offensive line. All right, dude, over to you. Who do you got at number 17?
Number 17, the Detroit Lions. It will select Monroe Freeling from Georgia. He's an offensive tackle.
Okay.
And like I said, it's you're they're always trying to add to their offense. They certainly needed. They lost a couple of offensive linemen, so the Lions replacing that with Monroe Freeling at number 17. Number 18, Bill.
Okay, number 18 of the NFL in the second in the 18th pick of the 2026 NFL draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Caden McDonald, defensive line from the Ohio State University.
Okay.
Um, Now I think Caden McDonald. I think Caden McDonald would just be good on locating ball carriers and would play off blocks to rally action. I think Caden McDonald would be a very good addition to this Carolina defensive line. All right, who do you got?
Um, I'm gonna choose, and if you want to go call me crazy, go for it. But for the Vikings, I'm
You're
gonna choose
crazy.
Jermod McCoy from Tennessee. He's a cornerback. Um, knowing how Brian Flores operates his defensive scheme, always good to have a nice little solid cornerback out there with you. And a good pick at 18.
I think that is a very good pick to have at 18. Okay, my number nine, the Carolina Panthers, number 19 pick of the 2026 NFL Draft. The Panthers select, drumroll please, Samuel Hecht, center from Kansas State University. Right now, Carolina needs a center. They need a center, and I think they need to go with a young guy who does things at high level. So I'm going to go with Samuel Hecht.
I want to go with Peter Woods, the defensive lineman out of Clemson. Excuse me, Jesus
Okay.
Christ. I can't speak today, Bill. No, any way to shore up the middle of the defensive line would be very helpful to this already very good Panthers defense. So him for sure.
Okay. With the number 20 pick of the 2026 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select CJ Allen, linebacker from Georgia University.
Mhm.
I I think CJ Allen, we all know Dallas needs all the help they can get. I think he's got speed that could really help him out and could really get to the sacks. So I would say CG Allen would be a good choice for Dallas. All right. Who do you got?
Number 20, I have the Dallas Cowboys choosing Chris Johnson, the cornerback out of San Diego State. Look, uh, Dallas Cowboys secondary was atrocious last season. And you can nab a nice quality starter at cornerback. to help you out and build your defense on at least from the secondary. Very helpful for again that just constantly allowed teams to go deep on you. Like it was a disaster last year for Dallas. So
Okay.
that's where I stand.
In the 21st pick of the 2026 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Deontay Moore, quarterback, University of Oregon. And here's why. Because, admit it or not, the Pittsburgh Steelers got to start thinking about life after Aaron Rodgers. Whether he's retiring or not, we still don't know. But the Steelers got to start grooming a new young quarterback. Whether Rodgers is retiring this year and like, okay, Deontay, you get the ball, or if Rodgers is playing this year and this might be his last year, they might just, they might just give Deontay a clipboard for the year so he can learn under Aaron Rodgers. So I think the Steelers are going to try to draft the quarterback of the future and go for Deontay Moore. Reggie.
Pittsburgh. I'm gonna say nah, give me the edge. TJ Parker.
Okay.
Always good to shore up that defense.
I'm going offense, you're going defense. No problem
Yep.
in that.
Yep.
Okay. Well, in the 22nd pick of the NFL draft, the okay, what am I saying? Okay, in the 22nd pick of the NFL draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Trey Zunn. Trey Zunn, offensive line center from Colorado State University. And from Colorado State University or Texas A&M, whatever he's in. Okay, I may have made a mistake on writing this down. Give me a sec.
Okay. You good?
No. Not yet. Wait, why did I put he was from Colorado State? What is going on? Okay. Trey Zune, offensive line, Texas A&M.
Okay.
He has 54 games and 3,200 offensive snaps. I think he would be good for this Chargers offensive line. Big guy. I think it's going to be Trey Zunn.
Cool.
Okay.
You're going offense. I'm going offense. Max Ihanansher. I believe that's how you pronounce it. From Arizona State, offensive tackle. Again, always good to shore up that offensive line. And look, the Chargers again had a lot of solid moments, so it's always good to have more protection for Herbert.
Yeah, no, you got to have protection for Herbert.
Yeah.
All right. So in the 23rd pick of the NFL draft, 2026 NFL draft, The Philadelphia Eagles, who really need a safety, they are going with Emmanuel McKeel Warren from the University of Toledo. Eagles desperately need a safety. I actually, fun fact, originally had Caleb Downs going down, no pun intended.
Hey.
Mike Rifkin. Mike Rifkin, I think, would appreciate that pun. What do you think? Um,
Depends. Depends on the day.
but the Eagles desperately need a safety. So I think they're going to go Emmanuel McKeel Warren because I guarantee you Downs is already going to be up, or Downs is already get picked. All right, Reggie, over to you.
Number 23, the Philadelphia Eagles. You can also use another wide receiver. So I'm going to go Denzel Boston out of Washington. Um, and again, one of the more explosive receivers out there. Always good to have playmakers out there for Jalen Hurts. And again, trying to go back to being the offensive juggernaut, he could be that guy. Denzel Boston out of Washington.
Yes, he can. All right,
Number 24, Bill.
my number 24. Whoever their quarterback is going to be, whether it's going to be Shador or whoever, because they have a packed quarterback, and the Cleveland Browns will be selecting KC Concepcion, wide receiver from Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
They need another weapon, and first they got to decide on who their quarterback's going to be, though.
Yeah.
They got to decide on who their quarterback's going to be. But I think whoever it's going to be, you need another wide receiver. So KC Concepcion. Reggie, you're number 24, bro.
We're on the same page. KC Concepcion,
We
wide
swipe right.
receiver. Hey.
We swiped right.
Same reasons. Gotta start building a receiving core. I believe it's going to be Shador Sanders, who's going to be the quarterback.
You think it's going to be Shador?
Yes, I really do. I'm very confident in that. And if it's not, I think it's shame on Cleveland because
Okay.
you're wasting good talent if you're not starting Shador. No, I think he could definitely use a great wide receiver, Concepcion.
Okay. So yeah, Keiki Concepcion.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, Reggie, great minds think alike.
Hey man,
All right, my number 25. The Chicago Bears select Dylan Feynman, safety from the University of Oregon.
okay,
The Bears have had made great additions on offense last year, but we got to beef up that defense a little bit. And I think Ben Johnson has done a great job on the offense, but I think the defense could use a little spark. What do you think, Reggie boy?
yeah man, always. Yeah, especially if they go deep. You have a good guy in the secondary that could definitely, for sure, help out. I'm sticking with defense too. But I'm gonna go a different route. I'm gonna say Caden McDonald from Ohio State, the defensive
Okay.
tackle, goes at 25 to the Chicago Bears.
The Bears. Double check.
Hey,
And most importantly, Reg, stop up.
exactly.
Stop up.
Um, yeah, like I said, just they could always have good defensive strength and power, stopping the run, getting to the quarterback, all that stuff. McDonald provides all of that.
Okay, well, for my number 26 pick, the Buffalo Bills select Cassius Howell from Texas A&M.
Okay.
He's, I think, he would be a flashy pass rusher, and he would be a flashy pass rusher and could help that Bills defense as an edge rusher. His stats are um okay, I'm sorry. Okay. You know, folks, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I have a lot going on in my mind right now. I'm a little all over the place. No, I really am.
Got your
I
back, Bill.
yeah, I think okay. He is a freak athlete in the scouting combine. He ran a 4.6 40-yard dash with a speed of 14.52 miles per hour. So I think he could really get to quarterbacks.
Yep.
And I think the Bills would have a young defensive trench in their defensive line. So that's where the I think that's where he will be going. All right.
Awesome.
Over to you, Reggie, my man.
The Buffalo Bills will select at number 26, C.J. Allen, linebacker out of Georgia. Um, you know, they could use a presence like they had with Matt Milano back in the day. Um, obviously, still massive presence for them, but still, they were weak at linebacker last year. And you could always have someone, especially now with Jim Leonard running that new big time defense as the defensive coordinator. He's someone that definitely fits their scheme. So I'll take CJ Allen at number 26 for the Buffalo Bills.
Okay. Well, in the 27th pick of the 2026 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select the San Francisco 49ers select um okay, the San Francisco 49ers select J. Reed Adams, offensive line from Texas A&M. Oh my God, you have him going there too, don't you?
Oh no, but no, it's not bad, not bad pick.
Yeah, because I believe, okay, I'm pulling something up right now. I think the San Francisco 49ers could use I believe the 49ers could use an addition to their offensive line. They need new young blood. Trent Williams and Jake Brendel are both into their 30s. They need a succession. So I think they need young blood, and I think he's the guy.
Awesome.
They need to start rebuilding that line because Williams and Brendel are getting old. All right, Reggie, over to you.
I have the no 49ers picking Blake Miller, the offensive tackle out of Clemson. Um, Again, just someone that could, you know, block, protect, and be a great fit up front in Kyle Shanahan's offense.
Okay. Now, for the number for the 28th pick of the NFL draft, the Houston Texans select Isaiah World from the University of Oregon. Nick Cassero has been making major changes to the offensive line. This will be the second year in a row. They gotta start piecing together what that's gonna look like on paper, but they still got to improve it. And I think Isaiah World. Okay. I think he could be a new franchise tackle. I think he could be a new franchise tackle and someone who is going to defend, someone who is going to really protect CJ Stroud. So my number 28 is Isaiah World, offensive line, University of Oregon. Reggie.
I'm with you on Isaiah World here.
Okay, we're swiping right.
Yes, again, an explosive tackle that could definitely help protect CJ Stroud, and I think it'd be great for Houston.
All right. My 29th pick of the 2026 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Denzel Boston, wide receiver from the University of Washington. Come on, we need to get Patty Mahomes a new weapon here.
Hmm.
The soon-to-be Mr. Taylor Swift can't do it all.
Of course.
So,
Yeah. I have a feeling Kelsey, though, is going to somehow have a nice resurgence. You know, if in fact this might be his last hurrah, it ain't going to be him struggling throughout the season. It'll probably be him, doing the best he can and being the big time playmaker that always has been. So, but it's an interesting pick. I mean, for sure, the Kansas City Chiefs could use the wide receiver help. Um, I'm gonna go defense and pick Colton Hood out of Tennessee. Um, and I do this because, again, you know, the ability to have him in a mixture of coverages sorely fits the scheme that the Kansas City Chiefs need. So Chiefs will pick Hood, cornerback out of Tennessee.
okay, so in the 30th pick of the NFL Draft, the the Miami Dolphins will select Jeremiah McCoy. Jeremiah McCoy, Jeremiah McCoy, cornerback from the University of Tennessee.
Okay.
This is one of the better picks for him, and because the Dolphins, they need every single position, they really do.
Mhm.
After a mass exodus, they need they need they need a bunch. There's been a mass exodus.
Yeah.
He could be their cornerback. He could be their number one cornerback right here. And you need a big shock on defense. So I think McCoy would be a good addition to this. Reggie, who do you got?
At number 30, I have the Dolphins picking Kedrick Falk, the edge out of Auburn. Like you said, they need every position galore. And um, while not necessarily the best pass rusher, definitely the best run defender out there, NFL ready. So always good to have someone great on defense. So definitely Keldrick Fall, the edge out of Auburn.
So I would say the I'm actually saying in the number 31 pick of the NFL draft, Keldrick Falk is going to the New England Patriots.
Okay. That's interesting. So you have him after going to Patriots.
Yeah, so we got him close.
Yeah.
I won, Mike Frabel defensive mind. I wonder if when he's not thinking about Diana Rossini,
Yeah.
yeah, we're still making jokes about that. I think, Mike Vrabel, defensive mind, can be a big defensive edge to the defensive edge can be a real help to New England's defense. And he registered 10 sacks with 3 seasons in Auburn, which he started 32 out of 37 games. And 2024, he had 7 sacks and his lone career forced fumble. All right, who do you got at number 31?
So same area, Cassius Howell out of Texas A&M. I believe that's how you say his name. Um,
Yes.
And like you said, they need more people to get to the quarterback. I think they only had like 35 sacks last season, something like that. And uh Howell is definitely one of the better pass rushers in this class. So I'll take Howell, Cassius Howell at number 31 to the New England Patriots. And then number 32, we made it to the end of the first round.
We did it.
The Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. Who you got?
I have the Seattle Seahawks picking Mike Washington Jr., running back, University of Arkansas. He's he's a he's a big, he's got the size, he's got the athleticism. He has struggled with fumbles and pass protection, so that might be an issue. But I think he would be a good addition to this team. I think they're mainly gonna need a running back here. So I think it's gonna be Mike Washington Jr. Reggie.
I have the Seahawks going with Avion Terrell from Clemson. Um, and again, like, they could always have a revolving door of cornerbacks and safeties out of Seattle, so it's always a good pick to go out and get someone in the secondary, and really add to that already championship caliber defense. So, Avion Terrell it is to wrap up the mock draft.
And the mock draft is in the books.
Round one in the books. Obviously, if you want more rounds, Mike Rifkin will have that for you.
And don't forget to watch our coverage on Thursday night.
Yes, we will be live. I don't know how much I'll be live. I have to work, but we will be live. We'll be joined by some special guests, and then of
Yes.
course the regular Insanity crew. We are so pumped up for this NFL draft. I'm curious to see what the Jets actually do at number two.
Or they're gonna go Reese or Bailey.
I don't know, man. Like it seems to change every day, right?
I
Based
know,
on
right?
conversations. Or maybe is it the Jets also trying to play with other teams again? Maybe Darren Muji is actually smart enough that maybe he's sort of playing with the minds of people, making him think, you know what, maybe I am going with David Bailey, and it's the team that wants David Bailey. They can trade with him. Well, he's open for business. I don't know what they're gonna do. I think they'll pick Arville Reese when it's all said and done. But I'm excited to see what they actually
I
do.
think they're going Reese too. I have a friend who's also a fellow Jet fan. He thinks they're gonna go Bailey.
Okay. I mean, I won't be mad at it. He's a stud. I won't be mad at it, but it just feels a lot safer to pick Bailey. That's just my opinion.
All right. So, any other news to touch upon today?
Well, we're kind of sort of talking about this off air, um, for the baseball weekend, and if you want to hear the commentary from Mark Halpern and Mike Rifkin about the Mets, batter up. Uh, the live stream is there. It's not going anywhere. YouTube channel. The audio form will be available soon. They talked about the Mets' then 10-game losing streak, which has now reached 11 games.
The poor Met fans.
Brutal.
Hey, did you
Brutal.
did you see this meme? I think shared it in the chat. No, hold on.
The FB chat or the regular chat, our chat.
I don't remember which one.
Okay. Because I have some muted. That's why.
Okay, for those of you who are
uh,
doing audio, it says New York Mets, $381 million. Can't hit baseballs. 10-game losing streak. Minus 24 run differential does not bring joy. Bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll. $7. Can't hit baseball. Never lost a game. Zero run differential. And it brings joy.
Yeah, a friend of mine had a similar one, but it was with pizza, and it's like $5 a slice, and all those other things, and then at the end brings you joy, while the Mets don't bring you joy. So
I sent this to a friend of mine. I
yeah,
sent this to a friend of mine. He's a big Met fan. And he was like, the bacon, egg, and cheese is always there for us when we need it.
yes, 100% true.
And
You
then he
know,
goes, the Mets aren't, though.
yeah,
And I
and
said, look at the bright side. If we try to get tickets to a Mets game, they'll be cheap.
they'll be cheap for sure. Yeah,
It's
and
funny because it's true.
and it's a reflection, Bill, of the front office, is it not? I
It
mean,
is a reflection of the front office.
and look, I would be lying to you if I said that the Mets were going to be bad this year. I never said that. I thought the Mets would be good. The reality situation is David Stearns gave up three homegrown Mets who were very productive, run producers, not necessarily the best defenders, but uh certainly playing their positions, you know. And like I said, homegrown Mets got rid of them in favor of players that are supposed to be preventing runs from happening. But yet that hasn't happened yet, Bill. Mets are getting killed out there. The pitching has been horrible. The hitting has been worse. And, to make matters worse, like, you had the likes of Pete Alonso. He's starting to get going in Baltimore. Jeff McNeil kicked their ass at Citi Field. You know, like you see that happening, and then the Mets go on this massive losing streak. It's not a good look. Francisco Lindor looks lost both on the base path and on the field. And then,
No,
of course, the clown manager himself, Carlos Mendoza. Of course, me and Bill know him very well. The Boone prodigy himself, Carlos
the
Mendoza.
the what prodigy?
The Aaron Boone prodigy himself, Carlos
Uh,
Mendoza.
yeah, I wonder if he's calling Aaron Boone for advice, which would be
The
the worst decision ever. I have a list of 50,000 people, Reggie boy, who I would go to advice before I go to Aaron Boone.
exactly.
Don't worry,
Um,
Reg, you're on that list.
it's a disaster, dude. It's a disaster to watch. And then, of course, let's juice up a little bit more. Luke Weaver has been horrible out of the pen. Oh, and Devin Williams blows a save. I mean, look, it's just great to watch this
Disaster.
happen to the Mets. And then, of course, Juan Soto's hurt.
He's
I
hurt.
I don't think he's that hurt. Like I'm sure the calf injury is real. I'm very positive that but I don't think he's as hurt as he's making it out to be. Um, I think he's saving himself from the embarrassment. And again, you can call me crazy, you can call me a hater, but Soto is I think he's having buyer's remorse.
I think so too.
And that's why he's missing time.
Do you think he wishes he was back in the Bronx?
Not necessarily back with LeBron. I think he wanted to go somewhere else besides he didn't want to be a Yankee. He did not want to be a Yankee.
Probably he wanted to go to LA.
Yeah, he probably wanted to go somewhere where he can make his own mark, where he's out of Judge's shadow and everything. Um,
I think that's the reason why he left.
yeah, he left. He didn't want to be here. Ultimately, he wanted to go somewhere where he could make his own mark, and of course, he gets nearly billions of dollars that he's going to get. So, um, Look, the bottom line is that the Mets are in trouble. And look, it's early, and I think eventually they'll turn it around. But based on how they've played, what gives you any confidence that they're going to win a championship this year?
None.
Met fans been duped.
They got duped. Cohen duped them.
Yeah. Stearns duped them. He had such success in Milwaukee, right? He's supposed to, replicate that success with his team, the team that he so-called rooted for growing up on Long Island.
Yes. Well,
Not nonsense.
we can take pleasure this weekend.
Yeah.
We swept KC!
And it wasn't even close, Billy Boy. It was not even close. You know,
Except for that 3 hour rain delay yesterday.
yeah, which bothered nobody because the Yankees again destroyed KC. Wasn't even close. Aaron Judge had a nice weekend. Um, the hitting had a good weekend overall. Good to see Bellinger back in the mix. All that stuff. Pitching was okay. They didn't have to be stellar, just had to be enough, right? So, good stuff by the Yanks. Uh, Bombers banter coming up at the end of the month, probably next week or so.
Yeah, we'll
So,
probably do it next week. We just gotta get through the NFL draft first.
yeah,
We just gotta get through the NFL draft first and go from there. And then we'll probably do a Bombers banter sometime next week.
yeah,
So
cool.
keep an eye out for that, folks.
Yeah.
It'll be
Uh,
great, we promise.
yep. NBA playoffs have started, Bill.
The Knicks won Saturday night.
They did 113-102 final score. Um, Very solid game for the most part out of Jalen Brunson. He did not necessarily have a great second half. I think he only went like 1 for 11 or something. But was very explosive out the gate in the first quarter. So I think he only had 22 on the night, 23 maybe. Let me get his official numbers. Jalen Brunson had 28 points, excuse me. He had 28 points. Um, he was 9 for 22 on the field, 3 for 4 3-point land. Karl-Anthony Towns had a great fourth quarter, didn't have a great overall game. First 3 quarters, he kind of had the nice disappearing act, but that's Karl-Anthony Towns. Whenever he picks it up, we'll take it. Um, Solid game out of OG Anunoby, both offensively and defensively as well. And then, of course, the Hawks, um, they are not on the same level as the Knicks. I don't care what anyone says. Me and Mark were watching that game. We were mesmerized by how close the Atlanta Hawks kept it. But ultimately, the Knicks playing I'm gonna give them a B- game.
Okay.
It wasn't a great game,
But
but
you
they
know what
won comfortably. Go ahead.
you know what my brother has been saying though? Goes, he doesn't think the Knicks are gonna go all the way this year, goes, because they can't beat good
No,
teams.
no, and that's the thing. Like
Brother
that
Murph has spoken.
that's the thing that we're always worried about is the good teams. I mean, look, they have beaten the Celtics this year. They beat them twice. Um, they beat some of the Western Conference teams that are very highly regarded. So they can beat good teams. It's just that the struggles come at the worst times. Like and the confidence is low at some point, but it is what it is. Um, but the Knicks get the W. They take a 1-0 series lead. Um, Other games to look out for: the Lakers beating the Rockets, 107-98. The Rockets without Kevin Durant, and it showed. Um, Not again the valiant effort, but ultimately not having Kevin Durant was a massive difference maker there for Houston, and then LA takes a 1-0 series lead. Denver Nuggets over the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Cleveland Cavaliers over the Toronto Raptors. Sunday slate. blowouts by the Thunder and the Celtics, beating the Sixers and the Suns respectively. Um, the Trailblazers losing a big one to the Spurs. Wembanyama, who is just a freak of nature, the new freak of nature in the NBA, 35 points and just moving all over the floor. And Billy Boy, I
Yes.
cannot believe how excited I am. But the Orlando Magic have beaten the Detroit Pistons, the big bad boys. Detroit Pistons, 60
Whoa.
wins, number one seed. Orlando says, not so fast. They
Not
take a
so
1-0
fast,
series lead.
mother.
Let's go.
Let's
That's
do
what I'm
it.
talking about. And I hope they win the series because I do not want to face the Detroit Pistons in the conference finals. No, 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 no,
I
no,
don't think any Nick fan does.
no. Absolutely not. So, shout out to Kate Cunningham. He did have 39 points and was tremendous on the floor. Played 40 minutes and just amazing in general. But nothing out of Thompson, nothing out of Duran, nothing out of Robinson. Tobias Harris at 17. Uh, Kate Cunningham carried this Detroit team. But you know what the Magic had? They had Paolo Banchero, who was solid, had 23 points in 37 minutes. All their stars were in double digits. They played
Yes.
defense. They attacked the rim. They played their brand of ball. Detroit was all out of sorts all night. It was phenomenal to watch. So I am so stoked about that.
Phenomenal to watch.
Yes.
Wow. Just wow.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, NBA, dude, we're in a very good time right now. NBA playoffs are here. NFL draft is this weekend.
Mhm.
Baseball's in full swing, dude. Stanley Cup playoffs have started. Buffalo is going. Buffalo won the other day. I'm sure Nate Moser is doing backflips right now.
Yeah, the Sabres were down 2-0 with less than 10 minutes to go, which of course is dangerous territory. You're down by 2 goals, less than 10 minutes. I think it was like the 7 or 6 minute mark where the Sabres finally scored their first goal. It was Tage Thompson. He scored two of them on the night. Um, and then, of course, the go-ahead goal by Matthias Samuelsson with about 3 minutes to go in the game that gave the Sabres the lead for good. Empty netted by Tuck. Phenomenal.
Boom.
Phenomenal to watch. I'm very happy for all the Buffalo fans. Um, and again, shout out to Nate Moser. Nate Moser, he deserves to be happy. You
After
know,
the Bills disappointed him, he
yeah,
needs he needs to be happy.
and good for Buffalo fans in general because now they have a reason to look forward to a sports season. You know how hard it is to, go through a season where it's like, oh, one of our teams is good, the other one sucks. Like I've been through that many times as a Knicks fan, where I have nothing to look forward to with the Knicks, but oh, I always had something to look forward to with the Rangers. It sucks. Like I want my whole sports season to be great year round. I want to be in the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely. No, and you know what? I'm happy. I'm happy for I'm happy for Nate Moser right now. Good
Yeah.
for him.
And it's not just Nate Moser. I went to college with a bunch of Buffalonians, and they're all nice people. So they're nicer than me. So I'm rooting for their happiness, not rooting for the Sabres, but I'm rooting for the happiness of my Buffalo friends out there.
You're rooting for them, my friend.
Mhm.
You're rooting for them.
You know, um, again, I don't know who's going to win the Stanley Cup. You can ask Rifkin and Moser and Noah.
Go
They'll
ask the
be
breakaway folks.
they'll certainly have a better feel of the hockey scene. But it was good to watch the Sabres win.
Now, it was good to see them win. Good for yeah, it was good to see them win.
Yeah,
And a New York team will win something finally, huh? After a while.
I mean,
We've waited 14 years for a New York team to win something.
funny. Funny.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's all we got for today.
Yes, man. Subscribe to our channel. I'm
Please do.
I'm surprised you haven't done so already. Like,
Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell.
we always have live streams. We always have podcasts being put up there, specials. Mark Halpern puts up a lot of these videos. He did a thing with Troy, his little son.
Aw. Adorable.
Please watch that. It's amazing. Troy's a good kid. Um, and again, be on the lookout for all things SIN on the socials. Log on to our website, and you know, we're in a good spot right now for the network. So please continue to support us. And as always, we appreciate you, love you, and thank you for joining us.
From all of us here at the Sports Insanity Podcast on the Sports Insanity Network, stay safe. Take care. We'll see you on
Bye.
Friday to recap the first round of the draft.
Jets, don't let me down.
They're
Do
gonna let
not
him
let
down. They're gonna let him
they're
down.
they're let me down like I always do.